Hi, gorgeous Pisces. I'm really excited to sit down for your May reading in this 2019. I'm falling in love with May the more and the more that I look at the astrology and feeling it out. And Taurus season's kind of a beautiful time for Pisces. I think it gives you this beautiful anchor point of sensuality and physicality. And then the way that Taurus plays for you guys is in this third house communicative energy, where, the phrase be impeccable with your word really comes up. If you've never read The Four Agreements, great read. It's one of those books you can reference time and again. It's very soothing and easy, and there's four major agreements, and one of them is to be impeccable with your word. When your third house energy, like it is for you in Taurus, is lit up, and it lit up as much as we're about to talk about, it means that, words are spells. Words are basic magic. They're vibrational. They have intent and emotion behind them. So when we pay attention to how we're speaking to ourselves, how we're telling our stories, and how we're speaking to others, we can also notice how those things ripple into real world effects. So your words are really powerful this month. We have the sun in Taurus. We have a new moon in Taurus on the 4th. We have Mercury moving into Taurus on the 6th. We have Venus entering Taurus on the 15th. And Uranus is hanging out in Taurus. So we have, 5 planets in Taurus with, 4 planets in Taurus with a new moon in Taurus. There's a lot of energy in your third house. And we're getting used to Uranus in Taurus, right? And that's what I want to mention really quickly before we get into the cards today. I did create the Magical Mid-Year Intuitive Guide. I wrote up this material. I spent time with each of the signs. It's available on Vimeo now. We go over what Uranus and Taurus is going to be doing with your specific sign, what Chiron and Aries is going to be doing with you, what the major outer planet retrogrades this summer are going to be doing. We have Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto all going retrograde and doing some really powerful, beautiful infrastructural work, and I'm going to be giving you guys strategies and affirmations to work with over the next 4 months or so. So go check that out if you're wanting to get more in-depth information about Uranus and Taurus, Chiron and Aries, and all the other major transit energy that's working behind the scenes in the next season. But you have all this energy in your third house this month, and in this creative, buoyant, soft, kind, warm Taurus energy. It's really beautiful for creating deeper connection, using word of communication to create deeper connection. Knight of Pentacles, man, this card has been showing up recently. Don't know what is going on with the Knight of Pentacles, but I think part of it is the quality of energy that comes in with Taurus. Taurus isn't in a rush to get from point A to point Z. The mutable signs always kind of want things to be moving, shifting, changing, churning. And Taurus is fixed earth. I mean, in some ways, Taurus is the one that understands that whole idea of, you plant a seed, you don't just stamp on the ground and get really pissed off that you don't have your beautiful full plant with your ripe harvest 3 days in. It's that kind of logic of like, the most magical things happen in the not seen, and all the energy leading up to that first sprout, and all the energy leading up to that piece of fruit. There's that meme that's going around, and that saying that goes around, that remember that, the last thing to grow on a fruit tree is the fruit. So there is an understanding in Taurus energy of that, right? And so I think Knight of Pentacles stops, slows down, looks around, assesses, checks in, doesn't feel the need to rush, kind of just surveys his experience and who he's becoming and how he wants to move and invest his energy and time. And I think that's okay. I think that's okay. So Taurus season's pretty powerful. We are magnifying that Taurus energy in major ways. 10 of Wands, releasing some burden, releasing some heaviness off of the Pisces shoulders. There's kind of a feeling of it's time to release some of that weight. And maybe that's part of what this assessment is all about. Taking that weight off your shoulders, taking that pressure off your shoulders, right? Justice. Balance. Clarity. Movement. The answer you've been waiting for. If you've been waiting for something to clarify, the clarity is going to come out of this softer, quieter energy. Clarity doesn't always have to come out of intense situations and catalytic moments that are really haunting. You know, sometimes clarity just comes out of a very, very soft space. And I think that's a huge part of what this month is about. Three of Pentacles. Very beautiful. I mean, it can also come from burnout. It can also come from pushing yourself too hard, right? But we'll talk more about that when we get all the cards out on the table. Four of Pentacles, I'm sorry. Ooh, you guys are a little nervous about something. You're a little nervous to fully invest in something. Empress. Yep. Value. Worth. Checking in with your worth, checking in with how you talk to yourself, checking in with how you tell your story, checking in with the seeds you are planting. That's a big theme that's coming out in this reading. Temperance. Wow. A lot of major arcana popping up for you guys. We also have a full moon in Scorpio nearing the end of Taurus season. That happens on the 18th. Fellow water sign is getting lit up, right? So full moon in Scorpio for you is so much about the way you're seeing the world and the way you are connecting those dots, the way you are philosophizing and mythologizing yourself. What just came out? Ace of Pentacles. Okay, we have quite the gamut. We have really a lot of abundance here, actually. We have a ton of abundance energy with some resistance. So we'll talk through how to work with that duality. It's not a real duality. It's a natural conversation that occurs between these two states when they happen. But that full moon in Scorpio will be really great for you to reconnect with your own mythology about yourself, that your own expansive viewpoint of yourself, and to reassess that and to find a new way of thinking about that. And that's a big part of what these cards are telling me as well. There's a revamping that needs to happen with the Piscean way of seeing yourself and your value. Because if there's one thing I've noticed about Pisces, you guys tend to denigrate yourselves a little bit. You tend to say, oh no, like, I'm not really, don't pay attention to that. Oh, you don't really fully self-love sometimes. You're really good at giving other people love and support. You're really good at giving of your heart there, but I think you sometimes get nervous about this other deeper work. So we're going to be talking about that today. Of course, when we get into Gemini season, it's always an interesting time for you. It's a fellow mutable sign. It hits into your sector of like home and family and mothering. So this is a great time to nurture yourself, to mother yourself, to check in with yourself. Gemini season starts off with a bang because the Sun and Mercury head right into that sign together on the 21st and say, hey, here we are. And for you, this is a really great time to check in with your home space, check in with your family, check in with your self-nurturing, self-mothering tendencies, and make sure that you feel really good about the work, the time you spend in that space. It's really important for you guys. Okay, so let's talk through what we got going on here because, like I said, there's a ton of abundance here. There's a ton of opportunity here. There's a ton of fresh ways of seeing and doing, and there's a little bit of nervousness. So that's the combination that we're working with right now. So, of course, there's a little bit of this slow assessment energy. Slowing down. Maybe you have a person in your life who's even moving through the world like this. Knight of Pentacles doesn't want to take risks. He doesn't just move just to move. He is going to do things thoroughly and well and very slowly. The shadow side of that is that sometimes, you can self-sabotage by wanting to do things perfectly, and if it's not perfect, then not moving at all, right? So that is the downside to the Knight of Pentacles. However, like I said, this card's been coming up a lot this month, and I think it's because what we need to do is we need to get into the Taurus mentality, which is to slow down and savor and take a look around and check in with our surroundings. Check in with our being, our way of being in the world. Now for you, that means that there's some kind of burnout. There's some kind of completion that's coming up. There's something that you've been carrying or trying to keep alive or trying to keep moving that is no longer quite clicking in the way that maybe it did before. It's shifting over and you're not able to quite hold it the same way. So this is a great chance at the beginning of this month, probably during that new moon, to check in with how you're mythologizing yourself, how you are telling your own story. Both of the moons this month will have a lot to do with that theme for you in your 3rd and your 9th houses. It's a lot to do with how you tell your story. And what story do you want to tell now? And what are you releasing from an old story? So there is something going on with that. Now, in that release, you get your answers. Like I said, there's an answer that you've been waiting for a while. There's a way to move through the world and a thing that you want that you have been wondering when the answer is going to come. Well, it comes after you take a moment to reassess your own storyline. To write a storyline where you are the protagonist, where you are deserving of love, where people who aren't giving, who don't show up in ways that work for you, are major side characters. They're basically extras. You might as well demote them to extras. Don't try and even make them a subsidiary character if they're really not doing it for you, right? That's part of this rewriting. But that justice energy is very much about opening up a new era and getting the answers you need. Now for you, that has to do with some kind of shared creative vision. That has something to do with building something that's shared with other people and finally having that click in where you are connected with them. And that can look like a different parts of your life, but there's something about you stepping into this and saying, yes, I own this. Yes, I'm going to show up to this. Yes, I'm going to show up to this connectedness. Yes, I'm going to be a part of this shared vision. But here's the thing, you guys. You have one other resistance card. And, you know, to me, the 10 of Wands and the Four of Pentacles are both a little bit of resistance to how this scenario is playing out. The Four of Pentacles is that feeling that if you do make the move, if you do make the investment, if you do just go ahead and dive right into this new storyline, into this new way of being, and honestly, this Knight of Pentacles is a little resistance too, that you're going to lose everything you have and there will be nothing after it and you will be at a loss for what to do with your time and your energy, and that you will have to live in poverty and sadness and dejectedness for the rest of your life. But it's all a mirage. It's all a mirage because actually this guy is imprisoned. By what he has, he's imprisoned. And all he'll ever be able to experience is this clenched, tight, scared feeling that feels very empty and lonely. So, what do we do? What do we do with that? We sit and we acknowledge it. Okay, I'm feeling a little nervous about this. I'm feeling a little resistance to this. Is it because I don't feel worthy of what's next? Is it because I feel paranoid that it will fall over and it won't work out? Is it because I don't trust myself? What if I just affirm, I am safe, I am loved, I am cared for? What if I just affirm this is really where I want to go next? Because where do you want to go next? That's what these next three cards are all about. Empress, Temperance, Ace of Pentacles. You want to go towards abundance, towards ease, towards playfulness, towards creativity, towards connectedness, towards sensuality, towards an ease of being in the world. The Empress is the principle of deep creative ability, but not through effort, not through demanding, not through pushing. You know, she is Taurus energy. She's the greatest embodiment of Taurus I can think of, Empress. But through the softness, through the creating in each detailed day, in the surrender, in the ease. It's truly where she wants you to be. No more of this scary story of strife and hardship and nerves and abandonment and loss, but a story of well-being, care, nurturing. Temperance is a balancer. He's an angel and an alchemist. I've said this before, but Pisces and Sagittarius have a connection. You guys are very expansive energies. A lot of you end up connected, attracted. It's a very strong connection between these two mutable signs, even though you guys are squares and you challenge each other. There's a deep, strong bond there. And Temperance is the Sagittarius card. But let's go beyond what these cards represent as far as signs, because this is an important alchemist. He tempers the heat. So you take something that's really hot and undrinkable, it's so hot, and he finds a cooling liquid that he pours into the vessel in order to create something that you can indulge in. Things don't have to come in extreme packages in order for them to be of value. Things do not have to come in extreme catalytic form, like I was saying, in order for them to change your life and have you in a new timeline. Often, the deepest changes come in a very soft, gentle form. It's warm. You take a sip and your body reacts to it nicely. Rather than burning your tongue and then realizing that, oh, I shouldn't have ever trusted this person to create this drink because they were going to burn my tongue all along, or, oh, they failed because they made it wrong, or the situation's wrong, or I messed up. It's like none of that's going on here. It's just the right temperature. It's soft. It's hopeful. It's buoyant. It's an understanding that things do not have to always be about the strife, that there can just be gentle optimism, that you can trust in your angel, the angel of your inner being, the other souls and spirits who consciously connect their thoughts to you and think well of you and help to manifest and create the life you want. And there's where the Ace of Pentacles comes in, right? There's a new chapter beginning for you. Really, there is. Of a chapter of well-being, a chapter of a new infusion of money, success, connection, safety, being understood, being loved, that is very strong for you. But you have to trust it. You have to release your fetters. You are always in charge of them. Can you control other people? No. Do you want to? Absolutely not. How exhausting and boring would that be? What you can do, though, is you can give yourself some grace. You can relax a little bit, and I promise these beautiful things are coming in. Like, look at these beautiful energies. Justice, Three of Pentacles, Empress, Temperance, Ace of Pentacles. These energies are abundance in tarot form. These are about the easier transits, though. These are about the easier ways. These are about clarity and shared vision. These are about manifestation and balance. These are about opening. That's what the key words are for those cards. And yeah, you do have a little bit of skin shedding to do. You have a little bit of assessment. Sure, you have a little bit of nerves about something that maybe is new to you, but that's normal. That's what happens when we grow and we change and we morph into who we want to become. I'm going to close it out there. I'm really excited for you guys. I think it's going to be a beautiful month. Take in that Taurus energy, move with it, work with it, let it work with you. And I promise beautiful things will come of it. Once again, go check out my Magical Mid-Year Intuitive Guide. It's great for the 4 months in the middle of the year. The Vimeo link is right below. It'll take you straight there. You can also find my PayPal link if you're interested in that. You can find me on Instagram at Sarah Verba. That is where I think I will be announcing any last-minute sessions available. I'm booked too far out for me to plan ahead effectively, so it's going to be a little bit more immediate. So keep an eye on me out over there, and that is where you're going to have the best luck if you're wanting to do a session. You can also find me on my website at SARAHTAROT.com and with my email info@SARAHTAROT.com, so I'd love to see you there. You can also find PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry in her Etsy shop. Link is in the description as well with 15% off. There's going to be a lot of new stuff in her store over the next few months, so I would keep an eye out. I'm sending you guys so much love. I will see you very soon for more moon magics and for more monthly readings. Sending you my love.